My name is Libby Leffler, and I focus on our work with influencers, causes, and nonprofit organizations here at Facebook. So I've been at Facebook for 6 years, and it's really been sort of an evolution over time in terms of what I focused on. I came to Facebook to work in sales, and I joined our partnerships team about 2 years ago, where I first started focusing solely on our work with nonprofit organizations. This work is really focused on how nonprofits actually use Facebook to generate awareness and advocacy, to fundraise, and to really achieve their goals, whatever those goals might be. So we work with any organization that uses Facebook and our products, whether that's Facebook groups or Facebook pages, and try to help those organizations understand how best to use Facebook to achieve their goals and their mission. I think something that's really unique to Facebook is, of course, the real identity component, right? So when you connect as a nonprofit with people on Facebook, you're not connecting with, anonymous faces. You're connecting with real people and names. And, they're sharing when they like your page, or they like a post that you share, or they respond to your request for a volunteer. Those people are actually, real individuals, right, with families and friends, and they're sharing their passion for your organization and the work that you're doing with their networks on Facebook as well. So anytime they see your post in newsfeed and they like it, or they comment on it, or they share it with their friends, that's something that they're saying, I'm Libby Leffler. I really deeply care about the work that the American Red Cross is doing, and I want you to know more about it. And I think previously, a lot of this was done by word of mouth. This was a friend going to a friend saying, hey, I gave blood today, you should donate. Or a friend telling a friend, hey, I volunteer for this great organization, or I tutor at this elementary school. It's people telling their friends and their family, what they're doing and what's important to them. But that was more individual. And now we have the ability to kind of do this at scale, where you connect with all of your friends. And those might be friends from around the world increasingly, right? So these are global connections that you have, and sharing with that network of people, or sharing even more broadly, right, with friends of friends, or even publicly if you choose to share in those ways, you can really tell people the things that you care about, the nonprofit organizations that you work with, and the ones that you support. That's pretty powerful and pretty amazing. In the work that we do here at Facebook, we often encounter things that real people have done, movements that individuals have started, and of course, work that great nonprofits have done. I think some of the most inspiring stuff that happens on Facebook is just started by individuals. If you take a look at something recent and new, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, which I'm sure if you're viewing this class, you probably have heard about kind of the work that's happened with the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. This was started by a real individual and his friends. So he started the Ice Bucket Challenge to raise awareness for ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. This is a disease that impacts tens of thousands of people, and he was one of the people suffering from Lou Gehrig. So he wanted to raise awareness about Lou Gehrig's disease and ALS. What better way to do that than to do it with friends? So he started something called the Ice Bucket Challenge with his friends, which was you take a bucket of icy water with ice in it, and you take a video of yourself pouring that ice over your head. And when you do the Ice Bucket Challenge, you not only say, I'm Libby Leffler, I stand up in support of ALS awareness, and I'm here doing the Ice Bucket Challenge, but you also encourage your friends to do it. So in that process, you nominate 3 or more people to also do the Ice Bucket Challenge. If those folks do not participate in the Ice Bucket Challenge, they're supposed to donate $100 to ALS. So all in all, it's great, right? It's either awareness building or donations. We've seen some amazing traction of this on Facebook over the last several weeks. So in total, so far, we've seen over 15 million people engage with the ALS Awareness Ice Bucket Challenge on Facebook, whether that's through a like or a comment or a share of their own. This is pretty amazing. And if you look at the stats that ALS has released publicly at this time, those are pretty amazing too. So over just about a 2.5-week period, the ALS Association raised over $6 million for ALS awareness, compared to just $32,000 in the same period of time last year. And so when you ask, why does Facebook, why do other platforms, why does the internet matter for how we connect around causes that we care about? This is a perfect example of how one person, an individual, can get together with his or her friends and make a real impact and start a movement. I mean, I'm super encouraged by the idea that any individual, right? Any one of us, real people like you and like me, that any one of us could start a movement today. That doesn't just have to be through a Facebook page. That doesn't have to necessarily be through a Facebook group. It can be sharing on a Facebook status with your friends. Hey, look, I want to get involved in a great organization. How do I do that? It could be as simple as, someone who, after a disaster in their community, for example, goes onto Facebook and tries to help their neighbors and their friends and their family. We've seen this happen time and time again on Facebook, and it's inspiring because the ways that people want to give back to, friends and family and their fellow humans, is really, really encouraging. So I think that there's a big opportunity using Facebook and our platform, and of course other platforms as well, to spread the word, right? Spread the word about things that you care about. Get people involved around the organizations that are important to you and the ones that inspire you most. I don't think any of this is limited to nonprofit organizations or cause-based organizations or advocacy organizations. I think it starts with people. It starts with individuals. The most exciting and interesting things that we've seen on Facebook are often not from traditional nonprofit organizations, but are from real people telling people about things that they care about.